Good afternoon, friends. Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live. And listen, I'm going to take you guys for a little journey today. And I actually have Anthony's, his particular channel open, Daily Excellence. This is where he, as he said, he loads up some of Paul Begley's broadcasts with Mike from around the world. And this particular one here is actually going to be on our Patreon channel. I'll be sharing with you tonight. Not the video itself that Mike does, but I have got multiple places marked in here, and I want to share with you some information, going deeper into these subjects that he talks about on here. And this is where Paul actually asked him the question about Planet X traveling in the ether. Now, Brother Paul didn't quite ask it the correct way, but it's all right. It's still close enough for me to be able to give you that information over on Patreon tonight. But then another one that I want to go on with you, and this is what we're going to talk about here on Israeli News Live tonight, is going to be, let's see, let me find you, brother. Here we go. This one right here. On Paul's channel, right here, he has the video here where he's speaking there with Mike from around the world. And I have marked multiple places on here. And what I wanted to do, the reason why I'm doing this is because Mike right now is clearly being able to speak more about things than what he has in the past. But the interesting thing is that practically everything he talks about, if you were subscribed to our Patreon channel, you would already know the information. Now, granted, Mike, because he's got multiple degrees, he's very articulate, and he does have a very good way of explaining these things in depth. And just in this one video here with Paul Begley, he actually goes into things that I'm going to share with you. Actually, not so much Professor Chaim, but World War Plan for 2024. That wasn't really one of the ones either, but anyway, I'm already there. So let me just kind of go ahead and get these reloaded up here. Two CERN scientists die trying to stop an evil entity. He gets into something like that on there. I can't believe all this stuff actually had dropped off already. He's talking about the Earth heating up, the mantle, the lava. I go into that, underwater volcanoes erupting globally. We have this one here, CIA discovers evil effects of fracking. It's not the part about fracking, but it's about something else that he speaks about that's in this video here. And basically what it is just one after another. I wanted to take you back. This is where I talk about the permafrost, what's going on there. You know, there's another place in the video where he'll talk about entities scratching, underneath the ice, things like that. And I wanted you to see, because for me, you have to understand, it's not just the fact that... Good afternoon, friends. I shouldn't say that. I'm not looking as much as, oh, wow, we were first, but it is a confirmation of the things I've been telling you. And so, I want you to see some of these things here. So I wanted to go back, and I'm just going to go ahead and get everything refreshed here. Unprecedented sinkholes. I think, though, on this particular video here, it's because I talk about hypercanes. And that was another thing there. And that's not even this one. The one about the hypercanes I did a little over a year ago there. But I was talking about hypercanes 2 years ago. I couldn't find all these videos that I really wanted to. And quite frankly, I was thinking maybe you guys might even be able to help me with some of this. And I think I know why that stuff is off there. He even gets into Bigfoot. And he actually speaks about that. He doesn't say it at first, but he drops the word Bigfoot later, keepers of the earth. Now, there's two different possibilities for that. I do know that the Bigfoot is considered to be keepers of the forest. And he goes into that issue there. So I'll share with you these things. And like I said, I just thought it would be a blessing for many of you. Let me just double check, because there's so many different things. And I don't know. Oh, this one will be another one I want to do on Patreon. This was a hunter that actually picks up a cubed craft. In his video footage there while he's out hunting there, a cube spacecraft, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well because I've already actually spoke about that in time past there. Two, I'll be teaching as well on Revelation, or not Revelation chapter 9, sorry, that'll actually be tonight. Joel will be tonight as well, probably in this video that we're doing now. Where is that? Oh, 2 Corinthians chapter 10 there. I really want to go into this as a teaching itself, specifically even with some of the things that Mike said in one of those videos, which is actually the one over on Anthony's channel there. I want to share that with you because biblically, and I'm going to go deeper. I just have that one scripture up there. I'm going to go deeper into that. So let's get right into this, though, because it's kind of a little bit of a lengthy video that I'm going to be doing. And now I want to take, and let's see, we'll go to the minute mark, 1 hour and 21 minutes. And, okay, there we go, and 4 seconds. This is where he's going to be talking about the oceans are heating up. And then I'm going to take you to a video that I did on this back in March of 2021, 2 years ago. Listen up.
What?
You know that, right?
No.
Ever.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Well, wait.
Ever.
Well, if that's the case, then we're going to have violent storms, aren't we?
You better believe it, and it's not done yet. In fact, the temperature rise of the oceans that has taken place in the last 6 months is more than we've had in the last, I believe they said 62 years.
Are you serious?
But it's never been this high. It's not been this high. So all of this is unfamiliar territory. We've not had ocean temperatures this high, not this high. And we're talking about global, not local, but global.
So the solar caps are melting.
All right, now I'm going to place the video here for you in the description below, so those of you that want to listen to these things can go back, listen for yourself there. I think, let's see, I don't know what time Mike actually came on this video. They're probably about an hour into it, something to that effect there. Now, in March 2021, and gosh, I didn't actually put down, let me see which video it is that I have on that, though. I spoke about, oh goodness, did I actually put the minute mark down? I did not. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Let me just see if I can find the right video. See, the problem is once you refresh them, it doesn't go in there, and it must have been this one here, underwater volcanoes erupting. I did not put, let me just see if I can find it. Maybe it was right there. Let's try it out. About this, and also I kind of will look at the, on this article on BBC. I don't know exactly when this article was posted. I'm just wanting to show this on here. They roll all the way down, but you can see the satellite imagery there on Real Earth and their website there showing as this thing erupts. Oh, I do have it. I'm sorry. I do have the minute, 4:45. Anyway, those of you that have a regular basis, and he's seeing them as well. So he's just kind of surprised that no one else has actually reported what's going on, that has kind of been kept kind of quiet there. Anyway, if you guys, I don't know how much I've got into this subject yet, as of yet, but in fact, I don't think I've actually spoke about this of yet. I don't know if I'll actually do it on this video or not, but I'll at least kind of touch on this a little bit. The one thing that's been disclosed to me just recently is that over the next 8 years, from now until 2029, if you live near within 200 miles of coastal areas, you need to seriously consider relocation. That's what's been told to me here just recently. And I was very curious as to why. I had not been in a meeting to where I could find out. Okay, it may not be the correct video. Let me just see, volcanoes in the ocean. Let me see if I find the right one, guys. I apologize. Just give me one moment here. what happened, I had everything preset here, and then it all got bumped and messed up. By the way, a lot of these videos are actually on our Patreon channel. That's why I say if you listen to our Patreon channel, you would actually know this information already. And so I'm looking to see, and of course a lot of them are loaded up through CERN, not through CERN, but through our YouTube channel, Stephen Ben-Nun. So let me just see if I can find, maybe that was it, but might just be in the wrong spot there. So let me jump around there, because I really, oh, you know, I do know that the Hypercanes is actually on, but there again, like I said, the Hypercanes is an older video. And the one that, yeah, this one I do talk about the Hypercanes. Let me just see. Get you as far as what the cause of that accident was, or even the was in recently, is that besides a lot of seismic activity that's going to be going on, and this is one of the updates I'll be giving over on Patreon, is that we're going to have a lot of sinkholes. And we're going to be seeing very unusual weather events, and we're not even talking about storm related, wind related, but not caused by storms. I actually shared some of that information over on Patreon already. That is actually the inline issue on winds and also tornadoes that will appear out of nowhere. And it's all caused from electrical changes. Listen, I don't want to waste the time on this here, because I didn't, for some reason, I got this mixed up in where I put it at. Those of you, I'll put this on control comments. If you could share with us, you might remember where the video is, even if it is still on Patreon, or if I've already released it publicly, about the Hypercanes. Now, I think I actually went back about 2 years ago. Even the inline storms, if you remember, I talked about these, I should say, inline winds, where we would have winds at over 100 miles per hour. That would really be wonderful if you could share that with everybody in the comment section below, so that they can see a lot of these things, because these are the things that that Mike is talking about. And of course, in that video with Paul, he actually calls it for the first time Hypercanes. And it's something that I was told quite a long time ago, and it had a lot to do. That's why I thought it was on, oh gosh, which video there? I thought it was actually on this one here, because of the fact I'm speaking about the volcanoes erupting globally. And this is where I also talk about the oceans were heating up. Let's just see what we come up with. And so there's something to do with the orbit of the moon, is my own conjecture, I should say. I'm trying to get a more definitive answer on this issue about the moon. That just came up, the orbit of the moon just came up in the news recently, because it's moving further and further from the Earth. But it's going to have more of a sudden move. The only way that that could happen is if the moon's orbit rise, and so I learned that gravitational pull that are heaped up to actually be a system, basically moving to higher ground. But we know that we're going through a debris field, and really starting to peak around 2023. But in 2029, that is supposed to be a year that's really going to create. Now, here we go there. The debris field. It's going to peak in 2023. And that debris field, though, as I told you guys before, and Mike actually speaks about it on the video as well. I don't think I marked that part. But it's going to hit the satellites around the Earth. It's not so much going to be hitting the Earth. In fact, if you remember, and that's another video, if you could post in the description below, because I couldn't remember where that was at or how I titled it. But one of the guys that has worked for me here in part-time here and there actually said to me, as a first responder, that for the first time ever, they're being trained on how to deal with casualties from space debris. And of course, I asked to find out what that really was, and I was told that it's not meteorites hitting the Earth from the what's going to happen here in 2023, and it's supposed to be this summer when that happens, but rather from the different satellites that are going to be getting knocked out of orbit and the debris falling back to the Earth there. Now, of course, as always, they anticipate more of that to hit the oceans, because of the fact that 2/3 of the Earth is with oceans. But nonetheless, is still supposed to happen. So it's a little bit of a odd thing to think about. So let's back that up just a tad to catch that part again. Quite extensively as well, but we know that we're going through a debris field and really starting to peak around 2023. But in 2029, that is supposed to be a year that's really going to create a lot of havoc here on the Earth. So for what that's worth, I wanted you guys to be aware of that. I did ask again about the situation with these 3 asteroids that are actually coming in that are not being disclosed to the public. That is another thing that I discovered later, that the only thing the reason why they had not hit the Earth yet, it wasn't so much of moving them, but it ended up being that it's because it's a matter of the veil coming down. Once the veil comes down, then they will hit the Earth. And that's something that we can look at biblically. In fact, if you look at, I think it's Revelation 9 here, and we come back up here, and the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Now, think about that. I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him, now the star is a him, so no doubt could be Satan himself or one of his minions, whatever the case may be, but that star is a him, and he was given the key to the bottomless pit. I have really held to the idea here recently that the bottomless pit may not necessarily be on the planet Earth itself, but rather another dimension. And that's something that I'll go into later as well. I think it'll probably be the one on Patreon there, where Mike talks about when Paul asked him about the Planet X traveling in the ether, he answers it in a way that I definitely understood what he's talking about, but I realized the people never did. They didn't understand what he's talking about, because he doesn't say, oh yes, it's traveling in the ether. He just begins to talk about CERN and its abilities to, if they have enough power to be able to pierce the veil. There's your answer. Pierce the veil. In other words, Planet X is just behind the veil, or that dimension is what it is. So, and so when you begin to look at the scripture here in Revelation chapter 9, this angel, I suppose, a fallen angel, he's cast from heaven. I saw a star fall from heaven into the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And I don't think when you say heaven, that necessarily means, he come from our Heavenly Father's domain, but heaven is got multiple layers to it. It can be the outer space, but it falls to earth. All right. And maybe the star has something to do with the way he gets here even. But he's got the key of the bottomless pit. In other words, exactly what it takes to be able to open up that bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace. Now, if you've ever studied anything about Planet X, and other documents that are available out there. And when I say other documents, I have to caution you. All right? These are not biblical documents. Whether it be the Mayan document, the Kolbrin, they call the Kolbrin a Bible. I don't call the Kolbrin a Bible, period. But it does give a historical account, for what it's worth, about the passing of Planet X. So you have the smoke of a great furnace described in there. I would love to be able to share some of these things with you, but the thing is, you have to understand. I don't want to do it, and people think, oh, that's just extra biblical. Sure it is. You read the encyclopedia, it's extra biblical. It's not the Bible, right? You read a book that you buy from Books A Million, whether it be a science book or whatever, your school books. They're not biblical. But they're books. They're extra. There are other materials, right? So you have to remember, when you look at things like this, look at it from that aspect. But nonetheless, the smoke of a great furnace, the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Yeah, if you open up that portal and you allow that star system to come in, it's pretty bad. And there came out of the smoke locust upon the earth. That's interesting. And to them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Interesting. Interesting, it says that they're not to hurt the green thing, neither the trees. You know, typically they want to terraform everything because they're used to desert environments. I kind of think that Joel speaks of that similar thing as well when he says the appearance of them is the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so do they run. You know, another thing that was brought up too is like the 3 unclean spirit like frogs. You know, never said that they were frogs, but like frogs, right? A reptilian's got a lizard type of head, very similar to that of a frog, and they have very large feet, kind of like, not webbed, but more like a dinosaur's foot, so it'd be similar to that of a frog's foot. But imagine them as big as horses, though, and like a horseman runs on his two feet, not, and his hands are up here like my shoulders are. Think about something like that, right? I mean, this is about as wacko as things can get, right? Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see here. Now, yeah, in that video there, let's see, massive quakes, August 14th. Wow. Boy, I really messed up when I did this, not marking it the right way. I spent all this time today getting this thing ready, and then made a lot of mistakes in this. All right, let's go down here though, because many of you already know about the thing about that. So let's just, oh goodness, as your account is being used in another location. Well, that isn't very nice. We gotta stop that from happening right now. Let me see who could be actually using my account. Never had that happen though before. Let's see if we can do it again. Let's try it again. Wow, that's really strange. Well, I guess I could switch to the account, but oh, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I see what it is. I actually was the one that I think messed that up.
Case.
Okay. So all right. So let's go to that 128 mark here. Shoot, that might even fix some of the problems that I ran into. Let's just see. Let me make it bigger so I can. Okay, here we go.
Rattling of the ground. Eventually, that water's going to seep out. It's only going to take one of those earthquakes to crack the ground enough, and then we're going to see that water come out. And because it's superheated water, so as soon as oxygen or nitrogen, any kind of gases go in there, it's going to be forced straight up.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you about earthquakes because doesn't.
All right, so there we go there. Now, those of you that remember, and there again, there's going to be a third video I need your help in finding. What we had was, let me just see, I don't think this is the video, but let's try it and see anyway. Talking with a friend of mine in DC there just the other day, he said he's surprised that this is not being disclosed already. He said when you're flying overhead, especially at night, you can't help but see the underwater glowing in many places. Of course, this one here catches the attention, like you're seeing here. We can actually see as this thing erupts. I guess someone's catching it through an airplane window.
There's
just
so many volcanoes going off under the sea, and it's heating up the oceans.
And things like that. And, of course, it's near civilization. But overseas flights and stuff, I'm being told that you can see these things. And, of course, a friend of mine there, he does travel quite extensively overseas on a regular basis, and he's seeing them as well. So he's just kind of surprised that no one else has actually reported what's going on, that it's kind of been kept kind of quiet there. Anyway, if you guys, I don't know how much I've got into this subject yet, as of yet.
Okay, let me back up.
In fact, I don't think
here.
I've actually. In fact, it was actually, we were discussing this in a meeting this weekend once again, and I have shared with you guys before how that there are numerous volcanoes that are going off under the ocean around the world. But Italy specifically is as I was told, it's like a no-go zone.
We'll have to skip that. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's so frustrating once everything got messed up on the timeline there. Also, by the way, too, he does talk about the train derailments. Now, I know I didn't put the video up on this one here, but at 1:33 into the video, and I won't play it for you, but Mike is saying that there's just too many unusual derailments not to be suspicious, in other words. And of course, we've shared that with you already, that yes, there's a lot of issues when it comes to the train derailments. Let me go to the 2-minute mark here. This is where he's going to talk about the skinwalkers, and that's an issue. Now he brings out something that I had not spoken about myself, and that is that you have to sacrifice a human in these things. But let's listen in just for a moment, then I'll play what I was wanting to play for you about that.
And spirits, and he said it does require a sacrifice of a human being, and I didn't know that it had to be a family member and someone you love and all that, but certainly. And he said that it's witchcraft at the highest levels.
Yes, it is.
To inflict upon other people. The skinwalker part of it, they can manifest. They can literally manifest into an animal. This is maybe as dark of a demonic activity that I've ever heard of.
That's part of it, because that's just the manifestation part, right?
Look at there, just the manifestation part.
But think of this, Pastor Paul, those beautiful craft that people see. Imagine something stepping off that craft that looks like a spider mixed with a human being and put together in such a way that just to see it would cause you to regurgitate.
What craft? You talking about UFOs?
Yeah, the little spacecraft.
Yeah, right? Little spacecraft.
Or suppose one of those little gray things that people see, right, with the mask on their face, takes it off, and what they see is a roach head. Right? Oh! Just imagine that.
Whoa! Well, that's what you're saying. These demonic.
All right, and the thing is if you guys remember as well, and I couldn't find all the videos where I talk about these things. Gray aliens are wearing a suit. How many times have I already said that one to you there? So you got so much of this. Let's see here. Let me go see if I can find the one again. If I could just know the dates of my video, geez. You don't get to see maybe under the show more. Oh, I do get the date. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's going to help me. Let's do like this then. I did not know I could find the date by hitting show more. That's the August 14th. That was, wow. See, that's the thing. I've not even gone to a single video that I was telling you about. So now I see that I can do the dates. Maybe we can fix this problem real quick then. All right, show more. That's June. That's not the one I want either. No, it's not going to be on World War plans. Hang on. Let's go over here. Show more. That's October. I hope I didn't mess up and knock some of these up. August 21st video. Actually, I'm looking actually for August 14th, March 18th. And yeah, March 18th. So let's see.
June 24th. That's not it either. My goodness, maybe I've been in the wrong videos altogether. October 23rd. You got to be kidding me. Please tell me, did I close the video? Oh my goodness, this is terrible. That's why I can't find it. All right, let's try to do this then. Ooh, gosh, what channel would it be on is the problem. All right, I was able to find it, one of the videos anyway, and it's actually on our Patreon channel. It loaded up, not Patreon, but actually loaded up to, well, it's on Patreon, but was loaded from iConnect. And then I think we made it public on iConnect as well. So let me just play two of the clips in here because some of these things we were talking about. This one here, 445. This is where we were going into the volcanoes and things, heating up the core of the earth.
Year. And, you know, a lot of times I've also said that this is caused by the radiation energy that the earth is absorbing that's causing the heating up of the core of the earth, and that's what in turn is causing all this weather to happen. Well, information was disclosed a lot deeper than just that, and it's not just this radiation, but there are three key elements that are causing the storm systems to go completely haywire. Well, actually two, really. The other one is bringing another issue altogether that we're going to talk about, something that may be beyond even what we could possibly imagine. But one of the big issues is CERN. I want to play a little clip for you.
I won't go into that one here because it'd be just too lengthy to play for you guys. But besides CERN, also get into the volcanoes, things like that, heating up the waters as well, which is heating up the whole temperatures of the oceans. Now, the other thing is that the skinwalker part of it. That actually, believe it or not, I actually got into that issue on this video as well. Listen in.
Between dimensions. Could that be what he's speaking about? I mean, there's all kinds of things. I mean, we even got another report as well. One of my friends on Twitter sent this to me. Meteorite explodes above the skies of Indonesia. Talking about what they call skinwalkers, fallen angels, demons also, that are appearing in the fear that it has struck the Navajo community here in the United States, to where even the Navajo police will not answer a call if someone is reporting that it could possibly be what they call a skinwalker, which are fallen angels.
Another crazy thing going on out there. Now, let's see. I'll try to keep this to where I can keep it going right again. Let's see. Going down to 204. Guardians of the Earth. That was an interesting one as well that he brings out. So let's pull back over here to Paul's broadcast with Mike. And let's go to the 204 minute mark here.
To this, or is people just
wait, here's what probably nobody will agree with me on this one, right?
Okay, they do, and so do demonic forces or demonic angels. Is there anything to this, or is people just
wait, here's what probably nobody will agree with me on this one, right?
Okay,
but, and I'm not saying this by speculation, but that's as far as I can go.
Okay. So you've got some knowledge.
There's something like guardians on this earth. Right?
Okay.
They're like guardians. They've always been here. They're like guardians. They are not allowed to commingle with humanity right now. After the Messiah has his time, right? These things will be allowed to get to those who said no to love itself. So, and nothing can stop them.
They're being held back. So you're saying they're being held back right now by the hand of God.
Yeah, nothing can stop them, but one day they will be loosed in great number.
Yeah.
Great numbers, and nothing can stop them.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when they encounter things like this, right? If you look at the character and the mindset of the person when they see it, it's almost like a foreshadowing of certain things that they would see. Believe it or not, this because this Bigfoot thing was mentioned long time ago.
Right.
Long time ago. In lots of civilizations and societies. Back in the time of King Nebuchadnezzar, they called him something else, but they actually had pictures of it. A big, hairy person, right, that wore no clothes. Even there was a character in the Bible that was similar to.
All right. And he's going to go into that a little bit, and even, let's say, I think interdimensional as well.
But also, but they were about 13 to 20 feet tall, right? And they roamed the earth. But another aspect of things folks don't understand is there are cavernous systems all throughout the earth, right? Most of those cavernous systems are occupied. They're not like empty places. The only thing that's been saving people is that they're not given permission to interact.
Now, this is something that I've already shared with you guys as well, the caverns within the earth. Not even talking about the hollow portion of it, just the fact of these huge caverns, like big as cities and things like that are there. All right, so let's see here. Now, did I put a minute mark myself? No, I didn't really put a minute mark in here, but I'll just play a little bit of this here for you. On this video here, I'm talking about Bigfoot migrating. Something's happening. They were migrating from the west to the east. And Mike actually mentions keepers, that they were keepers here on the earth. And I've been told they were keepers of the forest. Listen to this. What I'm looking for there is a couple of places in there to where it appears that you can see the tree being moved. They mark their right territory. There at the base of the tree, pull up a tree out of the ground. An individual carrying the tree. And that seemed pretty bizarre to me. But although it was alleged that this is a Bigfoot that was doing it, and it's the community that's passing the video around, I know a lot about the information on the Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call these creatures, from the intel that we have in the government. We have one in captivity, so that's another issue there. And this was posted by Sasquatch at the Sasquatch Real on Twitter. He says, real interesting video sent to me by an Instagram follower. Can't clearly see any creature, but whatever creature it is moving those trees is not human. Don't see any animal other than a Bigfoot doing this. Well, he's right. Now, supposedly, if I'm not mistaken, this happened in Tennessee. And as I was mentioning, though, I sent the video actually to one of the friends that has personally seen the Bigfoot we have in captivity up close, works with those groups that do that. And he said to me that this is a typical territory marking, is the ritual that you're seeing. I do know that we had one overturn an Abrams tank single-handedly. So when you begin to look at a tree being uprooted, don't be surprised. If they can flip an Abrams tank, I'm sure they can uproot a tree as well, although the tree is very sizable. And but I was told that this is exactly what they do to mark a territory. In light of that information, another thing that was shared as well on this is that not only are they marking a territory, but as of right now, we already have reports that there is a major migration of Bigfoot clans moving from the west to the east. And I said, they must know something that we don't. And by the way, Bigfoot is interdimensional. He has the ability to move in and out of the ether. It's one of the things that's made them very elusive. We have a team in the CIA that have tried to capture Bigfoot before. And like I said, we do have one in captivity, but that's always been a very, very difficult thing to be able to do. And let's see here. Like I said, there was so much that I had marked, and somehow or another I got totally messed up in what I wanted to share all this with you guys. 208, I think, is the bottomless pit. So let me play that for you.
Very disgusting. But then the punishment comes down. They're going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah before they were destroyed, thrown a party.
Yeah.
And then they are destroyed. But in this case, their torment is going to be horrific.
I mean, we do read
nothing they can do about it.
We certainly read in the Bible that these entities will crawl out of the bottomless pit, out of the abyss, Revelation chapter 9 tells us that this key will unlock this bottomless pit. This door will open. And it will be, and we know that then these 4 demons that are bound in the river Euphrates get turned loose. And then we know that there'll be other entities, the 3 frog demons that come in and manipulate the kings of the earth in Revelation 16. And we can go on. And even in the Old Testament,
and when you look at the ones that they as John said, they appeared like frogs in the manipulation. Reptilians do exactly that. So that's nothing new. These are things that are very, very true. And boy, I wished I remembered all the reasons why I had the different videos up. Let me see on the one about CERN here, because there was a reason for this one as well. Let me listen to see what some of the things I say in this one.
Colorado, and there are several mountains there with different types of bunkers, including for nuclear war, etc. And another bunker was for scientific analysis. And there's where the device that they had discovered in the Middle East.
Yes, I remember exactly why I brought this up here. I'll probably get into this more on the Patreon video here, though. But I will share a little bit with you guys on here what this is actually about. Like I said, Mike talks about the Planet X traveling within the dimensions. And he's going to get into also the issue about a device we were looking for, things that we've messed with that we shouldn't mess with. And he talks about people that have disappeared, things like that. Yep, I have already brought those out before as well. This is one of those videos where I did that, where we had found the device over in the Middle East during the war there. Looked like some sort of game, and that game, when you played the certain frequencies, it would dial up like a telephone to another dimension. Well, we ended up bringing a creature back that was like a worm type of creature, and that creature actually phoned us. Talk about ET phoning home, right? He phoned us. They answered the call and brought that entity in and killed quite a few of the scientists there. We had Marines that was down below. Everything, it turned into a major mess while that creature was eating some of the scientists that were there down in that facility down below when they brought that in. So yeah, some crazy things that are going on. I'll share some of that with you guys tonight, hopefully tonight on Patreon. If not, I'll do it first thing in the morning. But I wanted to at least get this started here. The main thing I wanted to just share with you guys, though, is that we often post on Patreon these videos. You see it's on Stephen Ben-Nun, our YouTube channel, Stephen Ben-Nun. Occasionally we do put some of these, or I should say about half of them end up going public for you so you can see them as well. But then some just stay the way they are. And of course, yeah, this one here, I get into the permafrost, because also in that video, Mike talks about the permafrost and things like that. I go into that issue, what's up there. And so, you know, if you're subscribed to our Patreon channel, and I'll put the link in the description below for you there, you're going to hear a lot of this stuff long in advance. But you know, like I said, Mike has just got an amazing way to be able to put things together. So I tried to bring up some of these things for you so you could see some of the things that we were talking about there. Let's see. Scientists die trying to stop an evil. Oh, let me go ahead and play this one for you. That'll be on tonight's video tonight, but let me play it for you as well. Let's listen in.
We have 6 of these devices around the globe, but the one in Switzerland had to undergo an emergency shutdown because of the very demonic entity that those scientists that were working there felt the presence of an unbelievable demonic entity that was coming through. And actually, at one point, they were afraid they would not even be able to shut the Hadron Collider down. That demonic entity was beginning to take control of the side that the scientists were on. And of course, keep in mind, a lot of these scientists do not believe in demons per se. But in this case, they found out exactly what demonic entities really are. 2 scientists were killed as a result of the events that took place here just recently at the Hadron Collider. Whether or not that'll ever be made public or not is still unclear.
Exactly, very much unclear. I think what I may do is on the one for Patreon, I'll probably load that in the morning, because I want to make sure that we really have everything laid out very clear, very thorough, to where I don't have any of these problems here. And I'll make sure right before I record that everything's refreshed. We're at the right minute mark. I'll write those minute marks down because I don't want to be jumping around like I'm doing tonight here. Kind of bugs me when I do stuff like that. So anyway, I'll put that together for you. We'll get that loaded up. And then also, like I said, I got a teaching I want to do tomorrow. Also starting from the 2 Corinthians there. So what I may do is just start preparing more tonight, digging deeper into the scripture there, casting down the imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. This is a very, very interesting passage that you need to know about, going back to like the intrusive thought video that I did. But we're about to be dealing with demonic entities, not just with your thought, but it's very serious, friends. And I need to really make sure I put this together very well for you. So please be patient. Thank you for your support of the broadcast here. And again, tomorrow we will talk about these things in greater depth. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. God bless and good evening.